The time is 6:15. Here is the news edited by Anjanathu Dangoda, read by Victor Raj. Here are the local news headlines. The President calls for overhaul of education system to drive economic transformation. The government to reduce price of consumer goods for festive season. Electronic Media Broadcasting Authority Act coming soon. The Triforces halt general recruitment. British entrepreneurs keen to invest in Lanka's higher education sector. Foreign news, Russia puts Estonian Prime Minister on wanted list. Sports news, Afghanistan won the toss and chose to bat first against Sri Lanka. Local news in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized the necessity of implementing a new education system to steer the country towards economic transformation, one that aligns with the global standards and can cultivate professionals suited for the competitive world market. He stressed the importance of reducing exam pressures and integrating English and technology subjects into the curriculum to prepare students for a workforce. Additionally, plans are underway to establish new vocational colleges and universities of technology. These remarks were made during President Wickremesinghe's participation in the national program of distributing free school textbooks and uniforms at St. Anthony's Girls' College, Kolupiti today. The distribution program extends to provide textbooks and official uniforms to student monks and nuns across 10,126 schools and 822 pirivenas throughout the island. Symbolically, the President himself distributed uniforms and school books to both student monks and students. Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industries Mahinda Amaravira said that the cabinet led by President Ranil Wickremesinghe discussed reducing the prices of all essential consumer goods and providing relief to the public before the upcoming Sinhala and Hindu New Year celebrations. A discussion was held today at the Ministry of Agriculture regarding limiting the import of used coconut oil imported into Sri Lanka and improving the quality of local coconut oil products. The Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industries, Mahinda Amaravira, and other institutions such as the officials of Coconut Development Authority and the Coconut Development Board participated in this discussion. The coconut oil produced in this country is of high quality, but a large amount of imported coconut oil is used and disposed of in other countries. Officials in charge of coconut-related product industries pointed out that the consumers have to face various health problems by eating these. Accordingly, it was decided to appoint a committee to set up a program to improve the quality of coconut oil, regulate and identify the quality of imported edible oil. Also, it was decided to present a cabinet paper to draw the attention of the cabinet in this regard. State Minister for Mass Media Santha Bandara said the Electronic Media Broadcasting Authority Act is expected to be passed in the near future. State Minister for Mass Media has announced that the Electronic Media Broadcasting Authority Act is anticipated to be produced in Parliament and enacted soon. Additionally, he noted that a national media policy has been drafted and is currently under consideration by the Cabinet for approval. State Minister Santha Bandara made these remarks during his participation in a news conference at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday, under the theme Collective Way to a Stable Country. Particularly in our efforts to enhance Sri Lanka Rupayana Corporation and the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, we engaged in discussions with their management, leading to crucial discussions that have granted positive responses. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Your next generation digital banking partner, People's Bank.
Continuing with more local news, Sri Lanka is in the process of downsizing the existing Sri Lanka Army cadre to 135,000 by the end of this year, and the number has already dropped to nearly 150,000 from the existing Sri Lanka Army cadre of 200,783. Last year, State Minister of Defence Pramitha Bandara Tennakon announced that Sri Lanka would cut the number of army personnel by a third to 135,000 by this year and to 100,000 by 2030 as part of the government's efforts to overhaul its finances. He said that the aim of the move is to create a technically and tactically sound and well-balanced defence force by 2030. In addition, Sri Lanka expects to maintain the number of Sri Lanka Air Force personnel and Sri Lanka Navy personnel at 35,000 each by 2030. Sources said that the Sri Lanka Army has halted general recruitment and is recruiting only for essential units with approval from the Ministry of Defence. This has led to a reduction of around 35,000 Army personnel within a few months. Meanwhile, Air Force spokesperson Group Captain Dushan Bijayasinghe said that the current physical strength of the Sri Lanka Air Force is below 30,000. The ordinary level exam is planned to be held in May-June 2024 and advanced level examination in December 2024, announced the Education Minister Susil Premchandra. Meanwhile, Minister of Education says the results of the 2023 GCE Advanced Level Examination are planned to be released before commencing the 2023 GCE Ordinary Level Examination. Premchandra revealed that the evaluation of the answer scripts of 2023 GCE Advanced Level Exam will likely to be completed by the end of February. That ends local news.
Enjoy seamless shopping. Open LCs, settle bills and transfer funds instantly, anywhere and anytime. With People's Bank Digital Solutions, you're empowered to do more, whenever and wherever you want. Unlock a world of modern banking conveniences with People's Bank, your next generation digital banking partner. People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Veda Mahatmya.
The newly launched website for the President's Fund was inaugurated at the Presidential Secretariat in Colombo yesterday. The inauguration of the new website, www.presidentsfund.gov.lk, was officiated by the President's Secretary Saman Ekanayake. According to the President's Media Division, this milestone grants the public access to updated information regarding the services offered by the President's Fund. Accessible in all 3 languages, the website also provides the option to download the application for medical assistance. That came to you on Main News Story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Veda Mahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Wildlife Department warned the public to be vigilant when using rivers, lakes and canals in Colombo, as there was a high possibility of crocodiles languishing in these waterways. Wildlife Conservation Department Director General Chandana Surya Bandara told, while commenting on a video of the crocodile being seen in the Bolgoda River, this is a common incident and it comes up as a topic only when people see it. Therefore, the Director General urged the people to be very careful and watchful when walking along these streams. That came to you on Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Headlines first. Russia puts Estonian Prime Minister on wanted list. South Korea says North Korea has fired cruise missiles. Severe weather batters Australian state of Victoria. World News in detail. Russia has listed Estonia's Prime Minister Kaja Kallas, a staunch backer of Ukraine, as a wanted person. According to the Russian Interior Ministry's database, Kallas is now wanted in connection with criminal charges, along with Estonian State Secretary Taimo Petrov and Lithuanian Cultural Minister Simonas Kairys. The Interior Ministry did not initially specify which charges they faced, but later Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said the Kalas and the other two Baltic ministers had been designated as wanted due to alleged desecration of the historical memory. The charges are specifically related to the destroying monuments of Soviet soldiers, according to a source cited by the Russian state-owned TASS agency. North Korea on Wednesday fired multiple cruise missiles into the sea in its fifth test of such weapons since January, South Korea's military said, extending a streak in weapons demonstrations that's elevating tensions in the region. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff and the South Korean and U.S. militaries were analyzing the launches that were detected in water northeast of the eastern coastal city of Wonsan. The South Korean military didn't immediately provide the exact numbers of missiles fired or how far they flew. It wasn't immediately clear either whether the missiles were fired from land or from sea assets. Our military has increased surveillance and vigilance and is working closely with the U.S. partners and is closely monitoring signs for further activities from North Korea, the Joint Chiefs of Staff said in a statement. Nearly 500,000 homes were left without power in the Australian state of Victoria after a storm knocked out parts of the network. Videos posted online showed torrential rain and gale force winds uprooting trees and blowing entire seeds away. One dairy farmer was killed. Authorities suspect he was struck by flying debris while on a tractor. The wild weather also hampered efforts to fight massive bushfires in the state's west. A catastrophic fire weather warning had been issued in one region, Australia's highest level of bushfire danger. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Russia puts Estonian Prime Minister on wanted list. South Korea says North Korea has fired cruise missiles. Severe weather batters Australian state of Victoria. Balance world news. Moving on to development news. The third offshore campus of the prestigious Indian Institute of Technology is likely to be set up in Sri Lanka, according to sources. The proposal for an IIT in Sri Lanka was announced last November in the 2024 budget unveiled by the Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who also serves as the finance minister. According to sources, the Sri Lankan government is in touch with IIT Madras for the ambitious project. That came to you on Development News.
Moving on with sports news.
Afghanistan won the toss and chose to bat first against Sri Lanka at the International Cricket Stadium in Pallekele today. Sri Lanka already leads the series by 2-0. That came to you on Sports News.
Go ekakthiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lankan High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Rohita Bogolagama, said several British entrepreneurs were keen to invest in Sri Lanka, mainly in the advanced higher education sector. High Commissioner Bogolagama said this subsequent to hosting Sri Lanka Business Drive 2024, an interactive roundtable discussion in collaboration with the Commonwealth on Enterprise and Investment Council at the Ratnadeep Hall of Sri Lanka High Commission, London. The main drive of this event was to foster collaboration, dialogue and knowledge sharing on investment opportunities between Sri Lanka and the UK business community. That came to you on Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Go එකක් තියන youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න
The all-new NSB Ithumitru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Moving on to economic news, State Minister for Investment Promotion Dilum Amnugama has spearheaded efforts to welcome high net worth Japanese investors to the Bingiri investment zone, signaling a new era of economic cooperation between Sri Lanka and Japan. Following President's successful visit to Japan, where bilateral investment opportunities were explored, Minister Amnugama has directed officials of the Sri Lanka Board of Investment to expedite the development of the second and third phases of the Bingiri investment zone. This move aims to accommodate the growing interest of Japanese investors eager to continue to Sri Lanka's economic growth story. That came to you on Economic News.
Weather report.
Several spells of showers will occur in the eastern and Nubu provinces and in the Polonnaruwa, Matale and Nuvareli districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the western, Sabaragamu and northwestern provinces and in the Gaul and Matha districts tonight. Fairly strong winds, about 30 to 40 km per hour, can be expected at times in eastern slopes of the central hills and in the northern, north-central, northwestern, over and eastern provinces and in Hambantota district. That ends weather report. To wrap up the evening news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. The President calls for overhaul of education system to drive economic transformation. The government to reduce price of consumer goods for festival season. Electronic Media Broadcasting Authority Act coming soon. The Triforces hold general recruitment. British entrepreneurs keen to invest in Lanka's higher education sector. Foreign news, Russia puts Estonian Prime Minister on wanted list. Sports news, cricket. Afghanistan won the toss and chose to bat first against Sri Lanka. With that, we wrap up the evening news on Radio Sri Lanka. Back to my good friend and yours, Ramesh Perez.